Warhammer 40,000. Chaos Gate Daemonhunters. A strike force of Grey Knights coming back from a long campaign against Chaos is suddenly commandeered by a mysterious Imperial Inquisitor Vakir and redirected to counter a new emerging danger, the Bloom. It's an intriguing setup, not least as it allows you to delve into the Inquisition's secretive nature, but also because the Bloom is an entirely new threat from the Chaos god Nurgle that will have you bouncing back and forth between planets in the Tertius sector. The overarching campaign puts you in charge of this strike force and their ship the Baleful Edict. You can move around the Tertius sector, going from system to system as you spot the tendrils of chaos taking effect. However, you're a wounded animal at the start of the game, needing to restore your force to full fighting power as you go. Visiting different parts of the ship let you earn new Grey Knights and craft better armaments for them with Armory Grand Master Vern Kai, while Grand Manufactorum lets you improve the ship's warp drive speed, boost the recovery rate of your injured knights, XP rate and more. That mysterious Inquisitor. Well, they've taken to the Libris Malleus where you can study the Bloom and develop new ways to fight it. With a story penned by acclaimed Black Library author Aaron Dembski-Bowden, Warhammer 40,000. Chaos Gate Daemonhunters tasks players with leading humanity's greatest weapon, the Grey Knights. Like in the original Chaos Gate, you'll be fighting against the forces of Chaos, who this time are putting the galaxy in peril with the Bloom, a cosmic plague that warps and destroys all that it comes into contact with. You'll lead 4 Grey Knights into battle, and you're free to determine their class and their gear. So, while it's perhaps best to head into battle with a balanced team comprising of an Apothecary, Purgator, Interceptor and Justicar, each with their own unique abilities, you're free to throw caution to the wind and field an entire team of Justicars if you wish. As you progress further into the game, you'll be able to hire more formidable Grey Knights, and purchase more powerful equipment using requisitions. Your efforts can also be bolstered by restoring the ship that serves as your base of operations. Bringing a certain facility back online might boost your experience gain rate, for example. Add in stratagems to acquire that can be employed in battle to give you the upper hand, and the option to take on additional challenges to reap greater rewards, and you have a game where preparation is just as important as the battles themselves. One of the key differences between Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate and the XCOM series gameplay style is in the approach to combat. In XCOM, the squads of soldiers are often outmanned, so the player must rely on distance and cover to take down enemies from afar. In Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate, the Space Marines are genetically engineered superhumans with high-tech gear, so they have the capacity to go toe-to-toe with the servants of Chaos. Each soldier can equip different types of gear and use special abilities that are linked to the 8 classes in the game. The player can also customize the appearance of their soldiers, which stays true to the tabletop game. Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate favors a more aggressive playstyle, with the Space Marines possessing powerful melee attacks that can be used to target specific enemy body parts, but only in certain situations, such as when performing a critical hit. These precision attacks can be used to inflict status effects, stun an enemy, or even remove their limbs. Enemies have a certain number of hits they can take before they become stunned. Once they're stunned, it's possible to execute the enemy, which not only comes with a cool and gory cutscene but also restores willpower, which is a resource used for psychic abilities used by the Space Marines. This is also present in the game's apparent focus on melee combat and away from cover. Of course, you can still place soldiers in cover and will want to throughout your mission. Still, the demo made being caught out of cover not seem nearly as damning as it is in other titles in this genre, mainly because so many of the troops can only attack in melee range. Its melee combat is also augmented by its original precision targeting mode. This mode activates whenever you attack an enemy that has been stunned or get a critical hit. The camera zooms in when this is done, and time slows down as you are presented with 3 weak points to hit. Each weak point has a unique debuff for the enemy, such as bleed damage that will hurt them over time, decreased accuracy, or having their movement speed. If they are close enough to death, you'll even be able to choose a flashy execution move that kills them instantly. Promotions then give knights different abilities, like Hammerhand, which guarantees you score a critical hit when using it in melee. The mission we saw took the Grey Knights to a cathedral infiltrated by Nurgle's forces. The developer said that if the Bloom returns to a planet later in the game, You can end up fighting on different maps, should you also return to cleanse it. Daemonhunters aims for clarity when it comes to its UI, showing how far your action points allow your units to move as well as how much damage they deal when hitting an opponent. After exploring the cathedral a bit, the Grey Knights ran into a couple of plague marines, one of which had a bloom seed that turned it into a prime target. Proper use of cover alongside mixing and matching your unit's ranged and melee abilities are all vital if you plan to keep your knights alive. Although they're sturdy, enemy attacks still hurt, so you'll need to know when you need to push forward and take them out. After all, dead foes deal no damage.